Aloha everybody and welcome to Beach Walks with Rox. You can find us at beachwalks.tv. Well, those of you who are longtime Beach Walks fans know two things. You know, one, that we did an interview with Jeffrey Deskovic back several years ago when I was at the Pod Camp New York City. We filmed it in Manhattan. And you also know that we love featuring stories of people who do incredible things, whether it's on the beach or not. It's part of that Beach Walks philosophy. And so today Jeffrey Deskovic is joining us again, and we have an opportunity to catch up with him. He was arrested and convicted at age 16 of a brutal rape that he did not commit. He spent the next 17 years of his life in prison, wrongfully incarcerated. And once his innocence was proven, he has spent the last several years putting his life back together and doing all that he can to support others who've been wrongfully incarcerated. So let's catch up with Jeffrey. I think you'll be as amazed and pleased as I am. So aloha, Jeffrey, and welcome back to beachwalks.tv. It's been a couple of years since we've seen you, and we have a lot to catch up on. Why don't you fill us in?
Aloha, Roxanne. Yes, we do. Pleasure to see you once again. Well, since I was last on Beach Walks, I've completed the bachelor's degree from Mercy College, and I'm on the verge of receiving a master's degree from the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. I'm just finishing up the second rewrite of the thesis, which is on wrongful convictions. I've continued my advocacy work, and I've been recognized as such through several political races in which candidates who are running for elected office imparted a wrongful conviction plank, and they asked me to endorse them, and so I did that. Aside from that, I was able to settle some of my compensation cases, and so I've received some money, and so I have achieved some financial stability, which takes a lot of the mental strain from me, and I've contributed $1.5 million to start the Jeffrey Deskovic Foundation for Justice.
That is wonderful news. I didn't realize the dollar amount there. That is fantastic. And that's what your rollout breakfast is about on March 16th, right?
Exactly. Yes. Having a breakfast spread. We've invited a lot of people to come and see the office, meet the staff. Our foundation has four prongs. Firstly, to raise public awareness, to seek legislative changes to make the system more accurate so people aren't wrongfully convicted, to help exonerate people both in DNA cases and non-DNA, which is important because DNA is only around in 10 or 12% of all serious felony cases. And there's also the reintegrative component, which we seek to help people put their lives back together after they've been cleared. And we also are committed to helping people on parole who want to transition to a crime-free life.
That is wonderful. I think those lifestyle components are so important because, you know, so much of what I read about incarceration is that it really, it kind of sucks the life out of you, and people don't learn those life skills. I know that's, you know, one of the things we talked about on the first Beach Walks of how, you know, you're living in a prison environment. You're not living in a, you know, out of prison environment, and they're vastly different.
Definitely, it's you miss a lot of the life skills. You don't go through the normal cycle of life. Technology passes you by. You have to reconnect with both immediate and extended family. There's financial pressure. It's difficult to find meaningful employment lacking the same level of experience other job applicants have. So it's a lot of to put a life back together after an experience like that.
Well, how can our Beach Walks fans help you?
Sure. Although I've given the organization a running start to establish ourselves, obviously I can't indefinitely sustain the organization on my own. So we need to get donors, people of significant means who can make contributions, but also people just of modest or average means. President Obama raised $100 million with a lot of contributions, you know, ranging from $10 to $100. So everybody's contributions they're willing to make it definitely counts. So those are ways in which people can assist your organization. If you're in the news media and you wish to write an article about the foundation, then that's a form of advertising that we really can't buy, and then that sets the stage for us to ultimately link with donors and even get grant applications.
That's a great idea. I would not have thought of that off the top of my head, but that's perfect. Tell us your website.
The website is www.thejeffreydeskovicfoundationforjustice.org. I also want to briefly celebrate. We had a important legislative victory here in New York. Over the last couple of months, there was controversy around the expansion of the DNA data bank, and many of the advocates wanted some of the traditional reforms, such as identification reform and videotaping interrogation, and a few other reforms, all linked in one bill that would expand the DNA database. But whereas the New York Assembly wanted that, the Senate didn't want that. The advocates wanted the all or nothing approach. And so a week ago, I went to Albany, New York State's capital, and I advocated at a press conference advocating a compromise. I appeared on a prominent television show after that, asking for just let's deal with one issue at a time. Let's expand the database, but let's give equal access to both the defense and the prosecution. And I'm happy that as of last night, that's the exact compromise that was reached, and it was finally passed. And so we at least have one forum here in New York.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Jeffrey. You really exemplify what the Beach Walks philosophy is about, which is that, life is just this rich experience, and it's what we make of it. And you've certainly made lemonade out of your lemons in a most outstanding way, and really inspirational way for all of us. So thank you for all that you do. It really does, it's a great contribution to all of us, whether we've been incarcerated or not. To see how you live your life is really remarkable. So thank you so much, and let's get you out to Hawaii one of these days.
Absolutely. Again, thanks so much for having me on, and it's always a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you so much. Aloha.